My name's Christy. Becca's back there, Becca Silver in the back, and Beth Sharp is our contact here at Edmond. And this is our time together to be able to take the first half of the year, do some reflecting, a tiny bit of micro learning, some small steps, some new things, and then get ready to rev up for after when we get back from winter break. So just a quick review of the components of the Peer Coaching Academy. Take a quick look at that visual, just refresh our memories. Oh yeah, this is what we're working on. We're working on trust, we're working on humility, we're working on asking questions and giving feedback. We're looking for micro goals, and we're working on ways to be vulnerable. Moving along quickly, big picture targets for the Peer Coaching Academy. Again, just to refresh, because we haven't seen each other since August. So, except for like individuals or on screens. So as a group, we haven't seen each other since August. So just a quick review of those. I'll let you just take a second to read through each of those. Excellent. Today's goals. We are going to be practicing trust building activities with individuals, teams, and schools. We're going to create some effective questioning techniques so that we can hone our listening skills. And we're also going to participate in differentiation for our different types of folks that we're coaching. So our coachees, we want to meet them where they are and help them break down some of their needs so that we can better service them and help them out. Okay. All right, moving right along, we're going to do a little questioning warm up here. Now, the preparation activity gave you a little bit of background information from the book The Coaching Habit, which was one of our reads from last year and is the predecessor to the Advice Trap. So these pieces, if they sound familiar, if you were with us last year, that might be why, or if you've read the text. In the Coaching Habit, he talks a lot about 3 really solid techniques for questioning. And that's how we're going to go about answering our guiding question for this section. How can peer coaches use questioning techniques to help build their coachees' capacity? Because it's all about our coachee. All right, we've got 3 types of questions that we're going to look at today: the Kickstarter, the awe, and the focus. In order to do that, I need you to pair up with somebody whose birthday is the same month as yours, but you are not allowed to talk as you find that person. So you have 1 minute to find someone who has the same month as you. The first question that the author of the Coaching Habit suggests is the Kickstarter. And in this question, you're asking them, what's on your mind? Is the basic premise of the question. We're going to expand that just a little bit because we have a specific context that we're working in. What's on your mind about how your classroom is functioning this year? So that's our context, our classroom or your school environment. It may not be a classroom if that's not your environment, like Suzanne does not have a classroom of her own right now. So the partner who's asking, go ahead and ask that question to get your person talking. What's on your mind about how your classroom is functioning this year?
Listening. We want to listen to understand, not listen to respond.
Yep. The follow-up question is to extend that question you just asked, what's on your mind, with awe. And awe stands for, and what else? So go ahead and ask your partner, and what else? We're gonna cinch it all together by closing with a focus. In this question, you're asking your partner what the challenge really is for them. What is the challenge that they are facing so they can really identify something that they might want to work on in the future? Go ahead. So you heard what's on their mind. You asked them to deepen that a little bit. You asked them about their challenge. Now you're going to articulate what might be their goal. All right, so now give your partner a high five. And switch roles and do it all over again, but I'm not gonna pause in between, so you can just let it all flow. We're gonna try a mobile reflection. And the way that works is as you are walking back to your seat, you're going to consider this question for yourself. How can this questioning series, Kickstart Focus, support your work as a peer coach? And you're gonna just think about that as you wander on back to your original seat. All right, so that was our questioning warm-up. We're turning it over to Becca, and she's gonna take you into some brand new learning about meeting teachers' diverse needs.
Before we jump into this, I'd love just by raise of hands, who found it a little difficult to listen and not like respond or give solidarity, like, yeah, me too. Yeah, good. Yeah, it can be tough. We're growing the muscles of listening, right? And it's really in service of other people. So we're gonna be talking about how to meet your peers' needs. As you're coaching them, how do we meet their needs? Okay, so this is based on a core idea, which is teachers are diverse learners just like their students. We have this very big conversation about differentiating for children, right? None of you would walk in your classroom and be like, I'm gonna give all of you exactly the same thing, and I can't believe that you're not reacting the same way, right? We would never do that for children, but sometimes we forget that adults also have different learning needs, right? And one of the things I often say is don't treat people the way you want to be treated, treat them how they want to be treated. And often when we are working with someone else, we kind of default into working with people and treating them the way we want to be treated. If we're a certain kind of learner, we'll help someone else learn in that way that we learn best, right? So I'm going to give you a framework to help you differentiate for your peers, okay? For the people that you work with. So one thing that I want to give distinction to, and we say I'm going to help you, often if we are helping someone else, who has already helped coach someone this school year? Helped someone do something this school year? Yes. We are most often working with their skill. I'm helping you get better at the ability to do something, right? I want to distinguish that from willingness to change, okay? So we have their skill. I am able to do this, I'm not able to do this, high skill, low skill. And then there's also, I am willing to do this or I'm not willing to do this, right? Or somewhere in between. So we are going to talk about levels of willingness to change. So the first thing I'm going to teach you and you're going to be reflecting on is, at what level of willingness do your peers operate? We're going to talk about our levels of willingness. Here they are, okay? The top level is eager. We're going to go into detail, and you will definitely want your note-taking devices out. So we have the quickest learners over here. The quickest changers over here. We have our willing folks that are, oh, I'm willing to change. We have hesitant, like, oh, I'm not sure, I'll change a little bit. And we have our stopped teachers. So let's talk about your eager teachers. Eager teachers tend to change the quickest. Okay, so these are the people that are out doing the research. They're not waiting for PD. I'm going out, I'm looking at Pinterest, I'm looking at Twitter, I'm going to conferences, I'm learning things, I'm excited to try new things. Sometimes I fail. Often our eager folks like fail more than others because they're just like quick trying new things, tend to get up, brush themselves off if they fail, try again, okay? Tend to operate with a strong growth mindset. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess that didn't work. Let me try something else. All right, let's talk about willing. Our willing teachers love clarity. They're the ones that want the directions. Just tell me what to do, but be very clear, okay? These are our concrete people. Our willing folks do not love ambiguity, okay? Our eager folks are like generally fine with ambiguity. Like, I don't know, the directions were nebulous, we're not quite sure, but oh, we'll try it. Our willing folks do not like that, okay? So those are people that are asking lots of questions just so I know how to do it right. Okay? There's a lot more external validation needed here. Willing folks can get frustrated if they feel like they don't understand how to do it generally, or what it is, or how to do it. Okay, if they feel there's a lack of clarity on their end, even if it's not true, if they sense a lack of clarity, it can feel frustrating. These teachers also tend to be very good teammates. Once they get the hang of it, they're like, I will help you, I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help all of you. Okay, our eager folks can be good teammates. Sometimes they're so busy trying new things, they leave other people in the dust, and they can also be frustrated and feel held back by other slower changing people. All right, let's talk about hesitant. So our hesitant folks change a little bit. They go to PD about this new piece of technology, and they go back to their classroom and they try it once or twice. They're like, okay, that was that. I'm done with that. Okay, so they change hesitantly, right? So just a little piece here and there. Okay, they are changing, but just little bit by little bit. Stopped. This is what can be called resistant, and I do not call it resistant because what's beautiful is, well, this is the thing I want to say. We stop being willing to change for a reason. I am clear that no one in here stopped because you are here for Peer Coaching Academy. You have sought out a learning environment, situation to learn and grow. You want to change, right? Okay, so I'm certain no one in here. I'm also pretty certain you probably know at least one teacher that stopped changing. They're unwilling to change anything at this moment. People are stopped for all sorts of reasons, okay? And one thing I really want you to keep an open mind about is why? Why would someone stop changing? I want you to, we're gonna take a minute and you're going to write down, I want you to write down at what level of willingness do you feel like your peers operate, okay? You can write initials, you can write names, you can write in a code. No one will ever ask you for this. And this is just you applying what you learned. This is not you judging your peers. I'm gonna say that again. This is not you, you're not judging. None of them are good or bad, okay? So I just want you to practice applying this to real people. If not, it just gets shoved into the information part of our brain and we go on our day, okay? Especially focus on those that you are peer coaching, that you want to peer coach, or that you're mentoring, okay? So you're applying this to real life people.
Can I add on to it a little bit? And you might want to think about a change initiative that's happening in your school. So if you're all trying something in your school that's new, think about their willingness on that particular topic. Because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Becca, but you might be more or less willing depending on the context or the topic.
Yep, exactly.
So you might be stopped about something, but eager about another.
Yep, I love that. No, that's a great focus. So thinking about an initiative. So I want you to reflect right now, at what level of willingness are you currently? I'm sure as I was describing them, you're like, oh, that's me. If we could take some raised hands, who identifies as eager most of the time? Yep. Who identifies as willing? Great. Yep. Any hesitant? And then stopped. All right, cool. So now that you've identified your teachers or the teachers that you work with, and you've identified yourself, the thing I said earlier, I got a little ahead of myself here, okay? This is really important. You operate at a certain level of willingness, right? And the people you work with might not work on that same level of willingness, okay? So we want to be very careful not to treat people the way we want to be treated. We want to treat them how they want to be treated, okay? Identifying their level is helping you differentiate for them. So how do we work with each level differently? Let's talk about it. Eager folks, we want to give them the whole thing. And get out of their way. Let them explore, okay? Reflecting with them is very helpful, being a thought partner. So like, oh, how do you feel like it went? Super helpful. All right, so there's a lot of partnership with this. And reflection. There's a lot of coaching questions are very helpful for eager folks. All right, supporting them when they're excited about something. Our eager folks get deflated when you're like, I think that's a bad idea. We don't like that. Willing. Our willing folks, clarity. You want to be clear with your willing folks. If you are mentoring or coaching someone that's on the willing level, give them step-by-step directions. Here's a big one that people often get overlooked. Your willing folks thrive with modeling. Your willing folks thrive. It is like one of the clearest ways to be like, this is how you do it. Let me show you. I love it. Okay? Let them ask all of their questions, even though you might think they should know, or why are you asking me this again? Look, they just want to be clear. They just want to know. Hesitant. These folks, there's a sense of togetherness with these folks. You want to go step by step together with them, co-plan with them, co-teach, if you can. Okay? You want to work together, and this is really important with your hesitant folks. Really focus on tiny tweaks and micro movements. We're not doing big overhauls, even though you might feel like their classroom needs it. Okay, tiny tweaks, micro movements, really important with your hesitant folks. And stopped. Now, I have a whole workshop just on this, and it separates it out into levels. The thing I want to leave you with your stopped peers is I want you to ask yourself, what is motivating this behavior? Really start to get to know them. And I always recommend do not try to help someone that's stopped without building a relationship and trust. Okay, don't try to teach them anything or help them get better until a relationship and trust has been built, period. And ask yourself, and listen. What is motivating this behavior? What is important to them? Listen for what's important to them.
So we just have a couple of things, big picture. I just want to make sure it comes out of my mouth and people hear it. Continually check in on your progress in the modules. I have graded all of Module 1 and Module 2. I am being ambitious because I want to capture your thoughts and comment on as many people as I possibly can. But in that same breath, if I don't have a minimum number of things turned in, I don't start grading. April will be a deadline, like hard stop in April because we've got to write checks, and we can only write checks to people who have done all of the pieces. Coming up is Module 6, which is going to launch the week of December 18th. You're not going to do anything though. It's just going to launch. You guys are like, what? Christmas break? Are you crazy, lady? No, it's just going to launch so you have the information and you can start thinking about it. There is no action to be done until you come back from winter break. Module 6 is going to be all about coaching someone inside the Peer Coaching Academy. So you'll have somebody in here. The requirements are going to be your form and a reflection and a little bit of learning to go along with it and trust building. Okay, so there'll be coaching requirements, trust building, and learning. The final coaching cycle is coaching someone outside of Peer Coaching Academy. So that'll be no problem. You just pick someone in your school. Okay, so we won't have any problems there. You can pick whomever you'd like.